how did you handle that inevitable adrenaline spike when you see this huge wave coming at you? And is there a trick you have developed to keep your mind calm in those moments and sometimes even seize this incredible opportunity like you did?
Yeah, we're definitely cut different for sure. All those big wave surfers look at fear in a different way. And when I look at fear, I look at it as it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to, it turns on that fight or flight mechanism. Do you fight or do you run? And most people run, and that's okay. It's a defense. But it's also like if you turn and fight or you decide to stay, it unlocks all these senses, and unlocks like another level of your mind being able to react and be present in the moment. And so it's, like Dune has a really good quote, which is fear is the mind killer. Most people let fear destroy them. And fear for me was always like, it used to destroy me. And then I learned like, this is the most powerful tool. And fear can allow you to get through a situation. And it just happened to be that not everyone's cut different. Not everyone's cut the same. I'm cut different. But like as I worked through that as a child and I worked through that as a young man, surfing bigger waves in the ocean, I never found fear that stopped me. Like most people find their limit, and I never did. And I don't know. It's that's not for everybody. Like I don't know if everybody can work through their fear to become fearless in all these situations, but I just could deal with it. I could quantify the how I'm going to get through it, and used it to my advantage.
I'm sure some of this fear management was maybe just your natural gift. But is there anything else we can take away from what I love about what you said is using, turning fear into something positive, into a tool?
I a lot of times go and speak to kids about, hey, tell us about your world records and stuff like that. And obviously this question about fear always comes up. And I always tell the kids like this simple analogy, which is like, what if you looked at fear, like fear is like this weight, right? Like when you're scared, you could feel it on your chest. It's like carrying something with you, right? Well, what if you played with that fear and you put it in a backpack and you didn't change the weight, you carry it on your back? All right, it's one way of dealing with the same weight, this heaviness. And now, okay, now I'm a little bit more free. I can move. I got my fear. I'm not ignoring it. But now what I tell the kids to do is imagine that backpack is actually a rocket, and I want you to light that fear. And now use that fear to propel you to where you want to go. And so it's like just changing the dynamic, changing the shift in your head and playing with the fear of being like, I own it, I'm moving it, and I'm using it, And I don't know if that works for everybody, but that was kind of how it worked for me.
Yeah, no, I can just imagine, that. Love it. The fear can be your burden, or it can be a rocket ship.
Yeah.
We can allow it. And Shawn, moving on a little bit, and I think this brings together your experience as a surfer and to a point where you had to reckon with maybe some of the biggest risks that come with surfing. If you are comfortable talking about it, you have spoken publicly about your traumatic brain injury and the work you put in to recover. And I realized that this was a major chapter in your life. So we don't have to go into too much detail, but could you briefly share what the biggest takeaway was for you from that period and how it has shaped your perspective now with surfing, and also with life.
Yeah. Wow. That's it could be a whole day podcast on that one question right there. I feel like after the 9, 10 years that I've spent dealing with that subject matter, but the most important thing I could take away from that is that how important your brain is, how important your body is, but mainly your brain. Like it's your computer that runs your body. It runs everything. Your mind is so critical, and when your brain gets damaged, whether it's a concussion or it's drugs and alcohol or it's abuse, an accident, whatever it is, it changes us. And what I learned from personal experience through all the things that I've done is that our brains can heal and can regenerate. And like when I was hurt, I was left with a lot of despair, and it wasn't common 10 years ago to understand that you could heal a brain. You were kind of left, it will take its time, like just let it, maybe you'll get better, stay off screens. But your brain wants to heal. Your brain will heal. Your brain will regenerate faster than any other part of your body. It's so regenerative, but bad habits and not giving it the ability to do that, it's not going to, or it's going to have a really hard time. So I guess that's what I've been trying to do, is just educate people and bring them hope that a bad TBI, a bad concussion isn't the end of the road, and that you need to do something about it. You need to do something about it quickly, and there's a whole bunch of avenues to get out of that situation. A concussion, a TBI, really is like a mental health problem, and it changes who you are, and that doesn't need to be your story. And it ended up not being mine. I've had a full recovery. I take really good care of myself. I continue to work on brain health and body health, and I'm not perfect, and I deal with a lot of stress, and I still charge some pretty big waves and have fun, and some days I don't feel that good, but I'm constantly working on getting better, and I'm taking really good care of myself.